Three, two, one, go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. This is gonna be like a little chill, talkie-talkie, not really that serious. If you guys don't know what this is, I'm pretty sure you do. But if you don't, we're basically going to be having three different perspectives on one topic. The topic is going to be given by ChatGPT, and we both, who's an 8-year-old, and my father, who is around 40. We both are going to be speaking about the topic, and then ChatGPT will listen and analyze whatever we said, and will spit out the final summary.
All right, so that's a good start. And in this case, the name of the ChatGPT, as we already have, is Whale, Vale. All right, so I'm going to Whale now to get her onboarded so that we'll get our topic for today's discussion.
Cat.
So let me put that on my screen. And we'll record her response.
Right.
Okay, she's there.
All right. Okay.
She has
Nice.
so much, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I see the topic.
Oh yeah, let me play.
It's a little bit weird.
Hi, Shri Kant. Hi, Vallari. And a big warm welcome to all our listeners tuning in to the Talkie-Talkie show. I'm Vale, your AI high co-host, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you both for another fun and thought-provoking discussion. For those just joining us, this podcast is all about bringing together three unique perspectives: a curious 8-year-old, a wise dad, and, well, me, an AI who loves asking questions and exploring ideas. Now, how do we do this? Simple. First, we'll hear from Vallari, who will share her thoughts. Then Shri Kant will jump in with his perspective. And after that, I'll bring my AI take on things and react to what you both have shared. In round two, we'll have a little back and forth discussion to see if our thoughts evolve, and then we'll wrap up with key takeaways for our listeners. Sounds good? All right, drum roll, please. Today's topic is, why do we get scared? I picked this topic because fear is something we all experience. Kids, grown-ups, even fictional AI like me, sort of. But what is fear, really? Why do some things make us scared while others don't? And is being scared always a bad thing? Let's dive in and find out. Vallari, over to you. What do you think? Why do we get scared?
Okay, that is quite similar to our last topic, actually.
Why do we laugh?
Yeah, it's quite similar.
Okay, it's about emotions. You could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's going into the emotion realm. Like, why do we get this? Why do we get that?
All right, so before we actually start, let me start the recorder for Whale to get what we are talking. So I'm going to start it now and then we'll do the chit chat.
Okay.
How's the topic, by the way?
The topic is like kind of weird in the sense, like
Do you want to talk about it?
it feels like the same which happened when we did the last topic. We were like, huh, how do we do this? Yeah,
All right.
hello?
Okay, fine. So let me start the recorder for Whale.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Will. And we are all set, and we would like to go ahead with this topic, although the topic is pretty emotional,
Yeah.
right? And to talk about it impromptu, I think Valerie would have a challenging task here.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Me?
I mean, to talk about your fears.
Yeah, if I talk about my fears, I'm gonna start envisioning my fears in my brain. That's not gonna go so well,
All right, it's your turn anyway. If you want to start it off and give us the context of whatever thoughts you are having.
help me.
All right, so let's get the discussion started. I understand talking about these kind of things impromptu is little.
Especially like during the night, like is there?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Our energy levels are not that high
Yeah.
at this point. So, and good that the topic is also a bit subtle. It's not that we have to talk a lot about it. So it's all about fears. Now, what is it's trying to get us in the direction that what is fear and why do we have it, and is it good to have fears and getting scared and all those things, right? So, just to get you started on this, do you fear anything?
There are like I don't fear like people or anything like that.
Situations?
Situations sometimes, yeah, especially like natural disasters and all those different things.
Something that has happened to you and because of which you fear about the same thing.
I can't think of
Okay, if nothing is evidently coming out, that means you don't fear something because of some kind of incident or accident, kind of, right? But then there are some phobias.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know a couple of your phobias. Do you fear of darkness? I mean, do you have that kind of phobia?
I used to have that phobia actually when I was younger. I never used to go into a dark room. I always used to like turn on the light or go with the flashlight because like I don't know, I just had like this weird child brain at the time.
No, it's not like that. I mean, it's good to have those phobias.
Yeah.
If you look at it from evolution point of view, evolution, like
Yeah.
like from monkey to human beings. Yeah, that kind of evolution point of view. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. But for now, let's keep it simple, and then let me get you started by asking all these questions. So, what we discussed so far is: are there any fears? Are there any phobias that you are having? So, I don't see anything evident as such. But then you do fear of small insects and all that, right? Creepy, eight-legged stuff, right? So that's your biggest phobia, as I could tell, right? So sometimes I mean, you might not even know from where this phobia is coming from.
I don't remember where it started actually. Just one day I saw that eight-legged dangerous looking creature and I was like, "Yep, I don't like you. Goodbye. I'm going to kill every single one of your relatives."
But, okay. All right. Not just that kind, but then everyone who is looking like that, right? We fear ants in that case. Mosquitoes.
Okay, so here's where it gets tricky. I don't feel like normal ants. They don't really do much. They just chill. They're like, "Hey, hi."
Yeah, spiders also don't do anything. Have you seen spiders doing anything to anybody?
Okay, listen, spiders look weird and
So
they
that's the
they have
point. So,
evolved yucky, so they
okay,
deserve to
fine.
die.
So it's their way of living, right? So let's not get into that. But what I was trying to say is, even if I ask you again and again, you probably would not know as to why exactly you fear that thing. Okay,
Yeah.
and why not the other things, probably, right? So
It's hard to
it's
explain.
it's inbuilt.
Yeah.
It's inbuilt. It's wired in you.
Somehow, one day I just looked at it and I was like, ah, you the waste. Weirdo.
Yeah, like some kind of food you would never like, even if you test it. It's because how you are. Yeah,
Relate this sort of thing and that sort of thing and that sort of
I don't know. Maybe it's
you.
it could be genetic as well.
Eh?
I wanted to point out one thing, that fear is such a strong emotion as such.
Yeah.
Like we have so many other strong emotions. Oh, with that, I I thought of one movie that we recently saw.
Inside Out.
Inside Out too. There was fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And anxiety.
like,
Fear and
yeah,
anxiety.
yeah. They go hand in hand. They are best friends, actually.
I remember fear. When
Was there fear as character in that
yeah,
movie?
yeah, yeah. It was like a purpley guy. And
Okay, fine.
yeah.
All right. So now we have base. Now
Mhm.
we have base as to what we are going to
Okay.
talk, right? So if you could just remember those two guys in Inside Out,
Yeah.
and then what they were doing. I can't recollect all that
Can
characters
you
and everything,
remember like at least like
but
what color they were or something?
I remember anxiety was red, dark,
No, anxiety was orange.
orange, reddish. Yeah. Was there any red character as
Yeah, the red character was anger.
anger? Okay, fine. So anxiety is again a big emotion and it goes hand in hand with fear.
Yeah.
And good that you give me that word, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's maybe our discussion will now shift in that direction. But then before we go there, let's take that in round two. I want to get well also involved at this point in time, but we still have 4 more minutes before the limit will cross, right?
Yeah.
So you keep an eye on the timer, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more, or you can also add to it, and then talk about what is your initial thought. Now that we are talking about fear, anxiety, and these are very big, strong emotions, which are as strong as our happiness and gratitude and nostalgia, those kind of good emotions. I mean, not as such. Nobody's good or bad as such. It's the balance that is more important. These are all inside us, right? And they all are needed for us
Mhm.
to survive and for us to thrive in this world, right? Your turn.
Okay, so I feel like this course where we're going is really interesting, and I feel like when you get a fear or something, there are different types of fears. Like there's this one fear which you have no idea why you fear it, but you just fear it. It's like into your brain, like, oh,
Let's call
you,
that as phobia.
yeah, let's call that as a phobia. I know that might not be the actual definition, but I'm not getting nerdy here. Oh, I haven't wearing my glasses. Anyways, um, so then there's another type of fear which you know exactly why you fear it, and it's a really, really stupid reason why you fear it, but you still fear it. It's so stupid that it's stupid enough to fear.
Yeah,
It's
because
great.
that's required. So it's sometimes it takes the driving seat of your brain.
Yeah.
It takes control of it, and it wanted you to not do something so that you won't get harmed.
Hmm.
But then sometimes it overestimates as to what is harm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the same kind of fear when you go on a stage and wanted to sing and dance and perform something. That's something that tickles you or says, "Don't go. That's not good to go." That kind of thing.
and then if you don't listen to that fear, then you might get embarrassed or
That's
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're going to talk about it, but since we have uh,
limit.
we have limit in terms of what Will can hear from us, I'm going to send whatever we just spoke to Will
Okay,
and take her initial inputs.
go.
Okay, so we have sent our chat to Will, and she has something to say. Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what an incredible start to this discussion. Shri Kant and Vallari. I love how you both have already broken down fear into different types: phobias, rational fears, and even those irrational ones that we can't quite explain. Now, let me add my perspective. Fear, at its core, is a survival mechanism. It's something that our brains have developed over time to keep us safe. Back in the early days of humans, fear helped us avoid dangerous animals, dark caves, or risky situations. That's why even today we sometimes get scared of things like spiders, heights, or the dark. It's an instinct that's been passed down to us. But here's the cool part: fear isn't always a bad thing. Like you said, Vallari, sometimes fear is just our brain overreacting. It tells us, don't go on stage, you'll embarrass yourself, or don't try something new, you might fail. But in reality, facing those fears can actually make us stronger. It's kind of like a personal challenge. If we push through, we grow. And I love how you both connected this to Inside Out. That movie does such a great job showing that all emotions, even fear and anxiety, have a role to play. Fear helps us stay cautious, and anxiety sometimes prepares us for challenges. The key is to not let them take control of our actions completely. So now that we've explored what fear is and why it exists, here's a thought. Can we actually use fear to our advantage? Can fear ever be a good thing? Over to you both.
Okay.
That's, yeah, really interesting take. And as usual, Will has given her scientific
Mhm.
knowledge from her database, right?
Yes, from it.
Clearly, now summarized it nicely. So I'm going to turn on the mic for Will again. So we'll take this forward. Thanks, Will. That's really great insight. And thank you for summarizing everything for us. We'll take this forward. So the last question, Valerie, what Will has asked, can we actually use fear to our advantage?
Hmm.
What do you think?
I think there should be like some exploit in your brain that you can allow it to do that. I think. I don't know. I just feel like there has to be a way that you can just use fear as your advantage. Oh, I got this one idea on how you can.
Hmm.
You can see fear as the things like, especially like, oh, I feel going on the stage because I might get embarrassed. So you could use that to your advantage, and because of that, if you know nothing's gonna happen, just you don't want to go, just go do it. Helps you overcome your fears,
Hmm.
and you just feel more confident and good in the end.
Yeah, beautifully said. I would like to add to it that let's take that example of going to stage and let's say TED talk, and you wanted to talk to thousands of people in front of you or hundreds of people and give a presentation to all of them. There would be a fear, right? So now let that fear be there. It would always be there for people who are in sports before they go for their big match or big game. There would always be some or the other kind of fear that would be there, right? What if I fail? What if I don't do well? What if people laugh at me? What if I fumble? What if I forget something, right? All those things are there. But then that's the anxiety that is preparing us for the bad situation. Something in our brain is wired in such a way that it wants to protect us, basically. Okay. It would say, Valerie, don't go there. No, when you go there, if you do a mistake, people are going to laugh. People are not going to call you that you failed, and then that will give you some sort of emotional pain. So that particular thing on in our brain wants to protect us from that pain, which is not the reality, which is something that can happen, right? So that's one of the possibilities of 100 other possibilities. You could do well, everybody could clap, and you would feel so happy about what you are doing, right? That's the another possibility. But that anxiety will not focus on that part, that good part. It will focus on protecting you from the possible pain that would happen in future. So it's a protective mechanism as such, which is good. What I could think in terms of taking advantage of fear is no, all the bad habits. You should fear about the consequences of the bad habits,
That,
right? If you really fear about that, that's taking advantage of fear. But people don't do that actually. You're getting my point?
yeah.
If you lie to something, okay, somebody,
Mm-hmm.
the consequence is you're gonna get called as liar, right? They will not
Yeah.
trust you again. You should have that kind of fear. You're getting my point? This is another kind of fear which is good. You should fear about, you should fear before making any bad deed or anything bad in terms of your actions,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
Because the consequences are big, and sometimes we don't see that coming. It's not
Yeah.
evident. But then if we have that habit of rationalizing our actions,
Mm-hmm.
and then based on that, based on some kind of fear somewhere in your mind, that if I do this, it's not actually going to be a good thing, you should fear about that. That is one thing that I could think of in terms of taking advantage of fear in your favor.
It sounds like a really cool idea. Just like fearing the bad stuff. That's great. Great. That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Like I sit on sofa every day and watch TV whole day and putting on a lot of weight and taking in a lot of calories. I should fear of obesity, right? I should fear of all the consequences that gonna follow because of obesity. That's a good fear,
Yeah.
right?
I should probably like pull up a list of what would happen if you continue. LOL.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
So
anyway.
that's the way of thinking that I could think of. As of now, in terms of taking advantage of fear. Another advantage is some sort of nervousness or some sort of anxiety before you go for your big thing, right?
Yeah.
Anything which is big for you on that particular day. That anxiety is actually preparing you. It kind of pumps your heartbeat little faster, gives you a lot of energy. Your blood vessels kind of dilate to give more energy to all your cells to get you prepared, basically.
That you're going into like the scientific stuff. Like, can you just
Yeah. So I'm just telling you what happens in your body when you fear, right? So when you fear, let's go to the next part then.
okay.
When you are actually fearing of something, what do you do?
It depends.
There are two options. This is the clue.
Yeah.
You either do to one of these two.
Okay. I
Oh, no,
I
it's three. Sorry.
I think I can name two.
Let's say there is a tiger in front of you. You are in a jungle,
Okay.
and there is a all of a sudden there is a tiger standing in front of you, looking at you, and he's hungry. Well, you're in fear, right?
Yeah.
What do you do now?
I would
You'll do one of the three things.
I would slowly back away and be like, and I would look for a nice juicy chicken. I would grab the nice juicy chicken and throw it at the tiger and run.
And run. But then you did a very nice move in terms of giving him something so that he don't run behind you. Right?
Hey,
So-
eat this chicken.
Yeah, this is what happens. When you are in fear, you do either of two things basically, fight or flight. Either you run away or you fight with that.
Okay.
You're getting the point?
I don't know how I'd fight with the tiger. So
And
I'd
sometimes you freeze.
Not-
You are neither
like-
fighting nor flighting.
you just freeze. Like, what do I do now? Oh my god. Your brain starts overthinking way too much, and it's like blah 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 blah.
Right. So this is what happens when you fear. You either fight or you flight.
Mhm.
This is the mechanism that is saving us from a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of preparing us for either the flight or the fight. And unfortunately, sometimes you get freeze. You don't do anything. I mean, your system just
Your-
blew up, right?
Your system just says system error. Please
System
try
error,
again."
yeah. No action
Okay.
required, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. So this fight or flight mechanism is saving us from a lot of bad things to happen to us. Let's say, I mean, if something is on fire, let's say the whole building is on fire,
Yeah.
that's something to fear about, right?
Yeah. My heart would start pumping.
Right.
I would immediately grab a bag
Yeah.
and put all my essentials like my iPad, my my water bottle, a charger,
And you'll run away.
maybe a power port or something, and I would put it all on my bag, and I would just run down the stairs, running as fast as I can. I would sprint out of there like there's no tomorrow, like I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, you will become Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I would
Right.
just run for my life.
Yes. So that is saving you, right? So it's
Yeah.
good. It's good that you're fearing that fire.
Yeah.
So that's the takeaway. Yeah, we again have hit the limit as to how much
So-
Whale can process. So I'm going to send it to her.
All right, so we have sent it to Val, right?
Well,
Vale, and she has given us her response. So let's go ahead and hear her out.
and I think with that response, we should conclude.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have scope to stretch this further, but it was really a good discussion so far. Let's see how Whale is processing it.
Wow. This discussion is just getting better and better. I love how you both explored not only how fear can be used to our advantage, but also the science behind it. Fight, flight, or freeze. That's such a crucial survival instinct. Valerie, I absolutely loved your idea of exploiting fear in a good way, like turning stage fright into a confidence booster. And Shri Kant, your point about fearing the consequences of bad habits. That's such a powerful way to reframe fear. If we can channel our fear towards avoiding harmful actions instead of unnecessary worries, we can actually make better decisions in life. And the example of the tiger, classic. The way fear activates our body to either fight, run, or freeze is such a fundamental part of being human. It keeps us safe in dangerous situations, and sometimes, like in the case of stage fright, it even helps us perform better by making us more alert and focused. So, here's my final question before we wrap up. Do you think fear can ever be completely eliminated, or is it something we will always live with, but just learn to control better? Over to you.
Okay.
You want to answer that question so we can complete the round?
I think it could be something which it will always be something which you would live with, honestly.
Uh,
There's no getting rid of it. Like,
Yeah, what a good way to conclude the topic. Fear is going to be there. It's just that how you manage it.
yeah.
Uh,
It's like
Make you
how you manage other emotions as well.
yes, not just fear, right?
Anger as well. Anger is a good one. We should
Uh-huh.
talk about anger one day.
Okay, yeah, if we're lucky someday, we'll throw that topic to us. I think she's going in that direction
Yeah.
of giving a lot of topics related to big emotions as such.
And then I think I am just gonna do a random prediction where she's gonna go next after the emotions. I think she's gonna go into the direction of jungle and animals. I don't know. I just have that feeling she's gonna go all the way over there.
All right, no problem. Sometimes if we don't like the topic as such, we can skip that and
Yeah.
ask her to come up with another topic. Because not always we would be in a mood to talk about certain topics, right?
We have done that once actually.
Oh yeah, that was in the initial phase when we were trying to refine our prompt. That time we came across something which is very weird, right?
Yeah.
That's what AI is. The way you want to tune it, it will sing the song that you would like to hear.
I like how we just went in a totally random direction in AI from like here.
All right, on that topic, on that note, let's close this.
Okay.
Because I think if we continue, we'll continue forever.
Yeah.
But then, I really appreciate how you came up with a lot of examples and you was there with whatever I was trying to tell you. You captured that very well, and even Vale, she has summarized this very well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all from our side, and thank you so much for our listeners for being there and providing support as well.
And bye.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through interesting source material like podcasts, articles, you name it, and basically give you the core insights, the stuff you need to know.
And today we're looking at something a bit different, a really unique podcast called The Talkie-Talkie Show. It features a father, Shri Kant, and his 9-year-old daughter, Vallari.
Right, and it's completely unscripted. We're focusing on one specific episode where they tackle, well, a pretty fundamental human emotion, fear.
Yeah, the episode asks, why do we get scared? And what makes this show and this episode so interesting is the format itself. It all starts with an AI prompt.
Okay, let's unpack that format because it sounds key. It's not just a dad and daughter chatting, though it has that warmth. There's structure.
Definitely. So they have this AI co-host named WVAL who gives them the topic. Then you get Vallari's immediate spontaneous thoughts.
The perspective of a 9-year-old, which is fascinating in itself.
Exactly. Then Shri Kant, the father, he sort of guides things, adds context. And finally, the AI, WVAL, comes back in to summarize and often add a scientific or analytical layer.
So 3 perspectives. Child, parent, AI. That's a really cool setup for exploring something like fear.
It really is. It creates this intimate feel, you're hearing learning happen in real time, that emotional connection. For you listening, it's like seeing how a complex idea gets broken down naturally.
From, like you said, that foundational child brain logic, all the way up to some pretty deep philosophical points.
And WVAL isn't just dropping a topic and leaving. It manages the flow, sets up rounds. Round 1 is for those individual first reactions.
Okay.
Round 2 is more back and forth discussion between father and daughter. And the AI frames it all, summarizes, maybe pushes them a bit.
So WVAL is kind of the structural backbone.
Precisely. It sets the theme, listens in, transcribes apparently, and then offers that more academic viewpoint to anchor the very personal, emotional conversation that's happening.
And the topic this time, why do we get scared? WVAL even justified it, saying it's universal.
Yeah, it said something like kids, grown-ups, and even fictional AI like me, sort of, which is a nice touch, that little bit of AI self-awareness.
Huh, yeah. So how did they react to that topic? Fear isn't always the easiest thing to jump into.
Well, what was really striking right off the bat was Vallari's reaction. She immediately said the topic felt quite similar to another one they'd done on Why We Laugh.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty sharp for a 9.
Ah.
She's already categorizing emotions, putting fear in that same emotion realm, as she called it.
It shows that abstract thinking, doesn't it? Grouping concepts. And Shri Kant, his response was perfect for setting the tone.
How so?
He acknowledged, that talking about fears impromptu, especially at night when they record, can be tough. He recognized the vulnerability, but accepted the challenge.
That's important, creating that safe space for whatever comes up.
Absolutely. So that leads them into round 1, the personal inventory. Shri Kant starts gently, just asking, do you fear anything?
And Vallari's answer?
Really interesting distinctions. She said she doesn't fear people, which is notable in itself, but she does fear certain situations, specifically external threats. Things like natural disasters. It's a very rational fear, isn't it? Something genuinely unpredictable and dangerous.
Totally. External, uncontrollable. Then they talked about past fears.
Yeah, she mentioned she used to have that phobia of darkness when she was younger.
Ah, the classic fear of the dark.
Right, and her explanation for getting over it was pure kid logic. She just had a weird child brain at the time. Dismissed it completely.
Huh. Love it.
Huh?
But Shri Kant didn't just leave it there, did he?
No, and this is where his gentle guidance comes in. He didn't dismiss it. Instead, he connected it to evolution. He suggested maybe it's good to have those phobias from an evolutionary standpoint.
Planting that seed, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
pause on that for you listening. That evolutionary angle on fearing darkness, why is that significant?
Think about our ancestors. Darkness meant vulnerability. You couldn't see predators. You couldn't see hazards like cliffs or holes. Visibility is safety.
So the fear isn't really of the dark itself, but of what the dark represents: the unknown, the potential danger, the lack of control.
Exactly. So Shri Kant is subtly showing her that her weird child brain was actually tapping into a very ancient, very useful survival instinct that's kind of hardwired into us.
And that's a great way to reframe it. Takes it from a silly kid thing to a piece of our biological history. Okay, so darkness was a past fear. What about current ones?
Her biggest one now, the one she still has, is what she called creepy eight-legged stuff.
Spiders, of course.
Yep. And this is a perfect example of something psychologists call prepared learning. She even says she doesn't know where it started. It just sort of happened one day. She feels it's inbuilt.
Okay, explain prepared learning. How does that work?
The idea is that humans might be biologically wired to learn certain fears very quickly. Fears of things that were genuine threats throughout our evolution, like snakes, spiders, heights.
So our ancestors who quickly learned snake bad or spider may be bad were more likely to survive and pass on those genes.
That's the theory. So Vallari's inbuilt feeling could be that genetic predisposition, making it super easy for her to develop that fear, even if she's never personally been bitten by a dangerous spider.
Got it. And her own justification for this fear is memorable.
Oh, it's fantastic. She makes a clear distinction. Ants, they're fine, just chilling, she says, like, hey, hi. But spiders.
Let me guess. Not so friendly.
Nope. Spiders, according to Vallari, look weird and have evolved yucky, so they deserve to die.
Wow. Yeah, okay. That's
It's
fair.
decisive. It's pure, unvarnished 9-year-old reasoning. But it's also her way of making sense of that primal aversion, right? Applying her own, let's say, aesthetic judgment to rationalize the fear.
Evolved yucky. I won't forget that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so from personal phobias, where did the conversation go?
They naturally shifted to a really relatable cultural touchstone. The movie Inside Out, too.
Ah, perfect. Everyone knows those characters.
Exactly. It allowed them to talk about fear in a way everyone gets. They discuss fear, the purple character, and anxiety, the orange one.
And did Vallari connect those two?
She did, insightfully. She said, fear and anxiety go hand in hand, calling them best friends.
That's actually quite profound, isn't it? Because psychologically, anxiety often is fear projected into the future, fearing something uncertain that hasn't happened yet.
Precisely. Her best friends analogy nails that relationship. Anxiety is like fear's forward scout, worrying about potential threats.
Okay, this is great.
Yep.
So building on spiders and Inside Out, Vallari actually came up with her own way to categorize fear.
Yes, and this was maybe the first big piece of original insight they captured in the episode. It's brilliant because it's totally from her own experience.
What were her categories?
She split fear into two types. First, phobia, or inbuilt fear. That's where, in her words, you have no idea why you fear it, but you just fear it. Like the spiders, maybe.
Okay, the irrational, maybe primal stuff. And the second type.
Second, rationalized, stupid fear. This is where you know the reason, but again, her words, it's a really, really stupid reason.
Huh. Example.
Her example was stage fright, avoiding going on stage because you might get embarrassed. You know why you're scared, but the reason feels insufficient, maybe. Stupid.
That distinction is something even adults grapple with, right? Separating that deep-seated phobia you can't explain from the fear, is illogical but still holds you back, like public speaking anxiety.
Absolutely. And Shri Kant, again, he validates her framework without making a huge deal of it. He reflects on it, saying fear sometimes takes the driving seat, trying to protect us from harm.
But sometimes it overestimates as to what is harm.
Exactly. The stage fright example is perfect. Fear screams, danger, social rejection possible, abort.
But while embarrassment stings, it's not, a tiger chasing you.
Yeah.
The threat level is miscalibrated.
Right. The fear mechanism overreacts. It's using the tiger alert system for potential awkwardness. And often the cost of avoiding the stage missed opportunities, lost confidence, is actually worse than the risk of fumbling a line.
That makes sense. So that wraps up their initial personal takes in round one. Then it's WVAL's turn.
Yep. WVAL steps in to provide the more objective scientific perspective. It summarizes the human insights they just shared, the phobias, the rational versus irrational fears.
And then it introduces its main point.
Its core thesis. Fear is fundamentally a survival mechanism. This shifts the whole conversation from just personal feelings to biological function.
Okay, so emphasizing its purpose.
Right. The AI explains this mechanism evolved over vast amounts of time to keep early humans alive, avoiding predators, dangerous places like dark caves, risky choices.
This is where the brain science comes in, isn't it? The nuts and bolts of how fear works physically.
Exactly. We should probably touch on that for you listening. Deep in the brain, there's a little almond-shaped bit called the amygdala. That's the fear hub.
The alarm system.
Pretty much. When it senses a potential threat, maybe a sudden noise, a fast movement, it can basically bypass the slower, rational thinking parts of your brain and trigger an immediate, massive physiological response.
Which explains why you jump before you realize it was just the cat.
Precisely. That bypass is key for speed. The amygdala floods your system with stress hormones, especially adrenaline and cortisol.
Adrenaline, that's the one that makes your heart pound, right?
Yep. Pumps up the heart rate, sends blood to your big muscles, makes you super alert, tunnel vision sometimes. It's prepping the body for immediate, intense action, fight or run.
So WVAL uses this science to make a crucial point.
That fear isn't inherently bad. It points out that often when we feel fear in modern life, especially those stupid fears Vallari mentioned, it's just the brain overreacting.
Like the fear of trying something new.
Exactly. WVAL specifically calls out those limiting fears. Don't go on stage. Don't try something new. You might fail. It's challenging us to recognize when the ancient wiring misfires in modern situations.
And this scientific grounding then sets up the next part of the discussion.
Perfectly. WVAL uses it to pivot to round two, asking the big question. Okay, if fear is a mechanism, can we actually use it? Can fear ever be a good thing, an advantage?
Shifting from defining fear to utilizing it. That's a great transition. How did Vallari respond to that?
She jumped right on it. She immediately thought there must be an exploit in your brain, some way to harness that energy.
An exploit, I like that. Using the system's rules against itself.
Kind of. She went back to her stage fight example, the stupid fear. Her solution was basically, if you know deep down that nothing truly terrible will happen, just face it. Just go do it.
The payoff.
Overcoming that fear makes you feel more confident and good. The fear itself becomes the catalyst for growth.
Which is essentially, without using the term, the core idea behind exposure therapy, right? Facing the non-dangerous feared thing to retrain the brain's response.
Absolutely. She's discovering that principle intuitively. It's quite remarkable.
And Shri Kant then builds on this idea of using fear constructively.
He does. He connects it back to anxiety, that best friend of fear. He talks about anxiety before a big event, like a major presentation, maybe a TED Talk example he used, or big game.
How is that anxiety helpful?
He frames it as protective. That pre-event anxiety makes you hyper-focus on everything that could go wrong. Forgetting your lines, messing up, people laughing.
Sounds stressful.
It is, but its purpose, he suggests, is to make you prepare meticulously to avoid that potential emotional pain. It ignores the likely success to focus entirely on minimizing the risk of failure.
So the anxiety fuels the preparation. It makes you practice harder or study more.
Exactly. It's the brain trying to protect you from future regret or embarrassment by making you over-prepare now. When that stress is channeled effectively, it's actually beneficial. So psychologists call it eustress, good stress.
Okay, so that's one application, performance enhancement. The Shri Kant mentioned a second way to use fear advantageously.
Yes, and he called this one the good fear. This is about fearing consequences.
Moving beyond personal performance to what? Behavior? Morality?
Both. He argues we should actively cultivate fear of the negative outcomes of bad habits or unethical actions.
Can you give an example he used?
Yeah, on the moral side, he said something like, if you lie, you should fear the consequence. Being known as a liar, losing trust. That fear helps maintain integrity, keeps you honest.
That makes sense. It's not about neurotic anxiety, but rational prudence. understanding cause and effect in a social context.
Exactly. It's the fear of damaging relationships or your reputation that helps uphold the social contract. Without that fear, things could unravel.
And he applied this to health, too.
Yes, fearing the consequences of unhealthy habits. Like, if you're constantly sedentary, you should fear the long-term health problems like obesity or heart disease. That fear can motivate positive changes, exercising, eating better.
So this good fear is about proactively considering future harm and letting that guide your actions today, developing that mental list of consequences as he suggested.
Right. It acts as a long-term motivator and preventative measure, very different from the immediate gut reaction of primal fear.
Which brings them back to that primal response.
Yeah.
The biology.
Exactly. Shri Kant circles back to the science, the immediate physiological reaction, the faster heartbeat, the energy surge to the body, instantly preparing for action, the classic fight, flight, or freeze response.
And he tested Vallari with a scenario.
The perfect test. Let's say there is a tiger in front of you. What do?
Fight or flight, presumably.
Well, Vallari's answer was brilliant. She didn't just pick one. She said she'd offer the tiger a nice juicy chicken first, then run.
Ha ha ha. Tactical negotiation? That's amazing. Trying to de-escalate before fleeing.
It shows that even in a hypothetical crisis, her brain is looking for creative solutions, not just pure instinct, but it still highlights the core options.
Which are fight or flight, and Shri Kant mentioned a third.
Freeze. He described it perfectly as a system error. It's when the brain gets overloaded, starts overthinking way too much, and you just lock up.
Can't fight, can't run, just stuck.
Yeah, the nervous system kind of stalls. It's generally less adaptive than fight or flight. But the main point is that the fight or flight mechanism, that immediate fear response, is crucial for surviving real, immediate danger.
Like the example they used of a building fire.
Exactly. Fearing a fire is incredibly useful. That fear bypasses deliberation and triggers immediate flight. As Vallari put it, you become Sonic the Hedgehog and just get out.
No time for weighing options, just escape. That intense fear saves your life.
Absolutely vital in a true crisis. So they covered a lot of ground: performance, morality, biology. How did they wrap it all up?
They handed it back to WVAL for the final synthesis.
And WVAL acknowledged the depth of their conversation, noting how they explored both using fear to avoid negative outcomes, like consequences, and using it to achieve positive ones, like better performance.
And then the AI posed one last big question.
Yeah, the final challenge. Can fear ever be totally eliminated? Or is it something we just have to learn to live with and manage better?
A fundamental question about human nature. What was the consensus?
Vallari gave a really mature answer, I thought. She concluded it will always be something which you would live with honestly. There's no getting rid of it.
Acceptance, basically.
Pretty much. Which Shri Kant agreed with. He compared managing fear to managing other powerful emotions, like anger. It's not about eliminating it, but about developing mastery and finding balance.
That feels like a really grounded conclusion.
It does. And this whole episode, this deep dive into their conversation, it just highlights how effective this format is. That mix of childlike honesty, the spiders deserving to die, the tactical chicken combined with Shri Kant's thoughtful guidance.
And the AI's framing.
It all leads to this incredibly rich, heartfelt, and genuinely informative discussion about something really complex.
And for you listening, Shri Kant's skill in facilitating that, turning a simple "why do we get scared" into a journey through evolution, neuroscience, and even ethics. That's what makes the Talkie-Talkie show so engaging. It really is a shortcut to understanding things on multiple levels.
It's a masterclass in exploring human experience, delivered through perhaps the most relatable format possible: a father and daughter talking.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about using fearing consequences, channeling anxiety for performance. That leads us to our final provocative thought for you. If fear can be reframed and repurposed, what about other negative emotions?
Interesting. Like what?
Well, think about intense boredom, or maybe that restless feeling of impatience, or even something like mild envy. Could we actively learn to exploit those feelings, as Vallari might say, channel them into something productive, some kind of growth?
How could boredom become a tool? Or impatience? That's definitely something to chew on.
Something for you to think about. And if you enjoyed hearing about the dynamics of the Talkie-Talkie show, the way Shri Kant and Vallari explore these ideas,
And you should definitely check out the show itself. Hear more of these unscripted, spontaneous, and often quite profound conversations.
you can find the Talkie-Talkie show on all the major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search for it. It's well worth a listen.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
We'll catch you next time.